To everybody that's here right now. Thank you all for coming in. Um, Thank you, Sugar, for the prayer. Yeah, praying that everything is okay. Everything is okay. It's just going to be a very, very honest conversation about things that I may not have shared on this channel before. So we're just going to have a very, very open conversation today. So I'm going to wait for everybody to come in. As you see, I'm by myself, but that's going to be okay because we're going to have a great discussion tonight. And I'm looking forward to being open with y'all, man. A lot of y'all have followed us for years. A lot of you all have been here for a long time. Some of you all are new, but I feel like I can be open with y'all. I feel like I can be honest. So I'm so glad that you all are here. Shout out to everybody coming through. Morgan, I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good. It's just gonna be a night where I'm gonna be very honest and we're gonna talk about things. We're gonna get into questions and things that maybe we were afraid to address before, but I want to go ahead and get into it tonight. So, right now, as you see, it is just me. That's okay. You all are just coming in. Shout out to everybody. Kathleen, how you doing? Faith, how you doing? Um, yeah, the title of this video is Mental Health Update, and I just wanted to be able to update y'all on everything, but more importantly, just be honest. That's what it is, right? We're doing lives now, a whole lot. So I figured that tonight, while it's just me, we can be very, very honest about a lot of things. But shout out to all of y'all. Y'all really are family and friends. It's good to see y'all. Thank you for everybody that has been riding with us for a long time. That means a whole lot. Good evening to everybody. And so this is what I want to do. Just to put the intention out here for everybody, what I want to do is I want to be able to clearly address what it really is like living with a partner that struggles with mental illness or has ever struggled with mental illness. Sometimes we've done lives where people will ask questions about how does it affect the kids, or do you ever fear that what if one of the kids shows signs of things, or what is it like being a mother dealing with this and that? Like, people have asked questions that we never got a chance to address just because so many questions were coming to us in a live, or we just never had the time to sit down and really talk. And so since I'm here, I feel like now is the time to do it. Now, to be honest, too, Leah, with her pretty self, yes, Leah is getting some much needed rest. Because as you all know, yesterday we did the video with Nayeli to celebrate her birthday. So today was her actual birthday. It was an incredible morning of going out, playing, having a lot of fun. So yeah, mommy is tired. And I mean, technically, I'm tired too. But this is our schedule, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm here too, because I do want to talk to y'all. I really do enjoy this. And so Nayeli had a great time. She had an incredible time. Let me actually see if I may be able to show y'all a picture or something like that to let y'all see what it was like. Before we get into the serious topics, maybe we start off with something light first, right? I'll start off with something real light. I can show you at least a picture of the family, right? Like just to prove that we did have a good time. I mean, she really enjoyed her birthday, and mommy is enjoying some rest. So I'm gonna show y'all a picture right now. Let me see. Nayeli's B-Day. This is the kind of stuff I could do when we're doing a live stream. So I will definitely say hi to Nayeli for y'all. And I will definitely say hi to Leah in the morning because she ain't awake now, right? She's getting that rest is serious, and I'm okay with that. So let me see if I can, man, you know what? I may be able just to share my screen. Let me see if I can do that. I may not even need to do much else. Let me see. I'm going to share my screen with y'all really quick, and I'm going to see if I can show you all some proof, if it will let me. All right, let's see. Let's see. Can I get a bigger shot of this, man? Can y'all even see? a good shot of this. That shot is so small. If I put it up on the screen, so this is a shot of the family, just to show y'all that we were having a good time. And you can see mommy is smiling. Mommy is smiling. Nayeli is having a great time. That's the thumbnail. Y'all need to see that. So this was all of us too, having an incredible time at basically a bounce park. We were jumping around, playing. It was a lot of fun. There's video clips I have. Maybe I can play one. Let me see if I can play one. I'll play one real quick.
All right. Wait a
Let me
minute.
just skip ahead in this clip for you all to see some of the enjoyment. This is in slow motion, so let me get to the main part. Let me get to the main part and see if I can get y'all to see at least something. Come on now. I'm gonna keep skipping ahead. I want y'all to see something. I know something happened. There we go. There we go. That one is Amala. Let me see if I can get y'all a shot of Nayeli real quick so you can see the birthday girl. Let's see. I'm gonna stop there. That I think is great. I think that's great because it shows you all that we did have an incredible day. So what I want to do though for the video, now that y'all know everybody is good, I want to be able to open this up to some of the questions that we haven't got a chance to answer. We haven't had time in a live stream, or they may have been too triggering in the moment. So what I'm going to say really quick is, since mental illness is something that I haven't experienced myself, but I've been in proximity to it, there's things that I'm able to talk on, which are going to be a little bit easier for me to express than for somebody in the midst of dealing with things to express, right? It doesn't mean that I'm just going to sit here and just put anything out that would be shameful to my wife or my family. I would never do that. But I am here to open up and answer questions about what it is really, really like being a partner to somebody in the struggle. Sometimes I've seen parents tell me about teenagers they have that are dealing with mental illness. People will tell me about friends and other family members. So I really want to be open right now to being able to talk about this in a very, very honest way. And so that's what we're doing. So I am opening it up. I'm opening it up to any questions you all have on what that experience is like. And I'm hoping, my intention is that these words will help somebody, because it is a journey. And I've been on this journey for 15, 20 years. It's been a long time. And there's a lot of things I've gained along the way. So I want to be able to talk about that while Leah is at rest. So any questions that you all have, I am here to do that. I will give you time. And if there are no questions, I'll just start speaking on stuff. But I know there's some questions. So let me give some time and leave that space open. And while you all are thinking, I'm going to play some countdown music in the background. Yeah. If you all can hear that. Y'all hear? No, I don't hear any countdown music. Let me see if I can play. I don't hear any music at all. Y'all don't hear that, right? Okay, so anyway, let me answer a question real quick. This is coming from Cynthia. When she is sitting in a daze, no response, what do you do? Okay, so Cynthia, I'm going to assume that this may be a response that is close to your heart. And I'm glad, yes, somebody that said that they hear clapping, I'm glad that you said that so I can make sure that this audio is right. But when they're sitting in a daze, no response, what do you do? Now, when it comes to my own experience, I'm trying to think through my journey. Have I ever had a time where I've seen her have no response and be quiet? All right. I'm going to answer this the best that I can based on my own experience. if I see that things are off, if I've ever seen that things are off and there is extra quiet or something like this, like in a daze, they're not as responsive, my thing usually is to try to encourage rest or stepping aside or trying to privately talk to them. And in my case, I would probably try to privately talk to my wife away from the kids about what is going on. But if it's something that is reoccurring that I see, that is a sign of something that I have an understanding of, I'm going to try to move her into a place to get at least in a better space. So let's say, and I'm trying to imagine this because it hasn't quite, I haven't had a lot of moments like this. But what I will do in a situation is I will remove her. If it's a situation where she feels overwhelmed, I'm going to move her out of that space into another space where she has time to collect herself, collect her thoughts, and work through whatever that moment is. That usually is what I'm going to do first off, right? So thank you so much for that question. Now let me go back here because the whole point of doing this is I really want to be able to answer the questions that we often miss. Lady Daydream says, what do spouses who are coping with a partner with mental illness need? I have mental health disorders and my husband is very supportive. Wonder what he may need from me. That is an incredible question. Okay. The main thing I need as a husband, and this is a hard one, I need honesty. I need to be in a situation and again, as I'm saying this, is hard because it kind of hits on the mental health disorder itself. So when I talk from my case, a part of the disorder is you don't want to be a burden to anybody. So you won't do or say anything that could potentially be a burden. But what I need as a husband is the honesty up front. I personally would love for things not to get bad and then I notice that something is wrong, or then you tell me that something is wrong. I would be one, if you feel like something's a little off or you're even starting to get overwhelmed a little bit, I would much rather you tell me like, baby, I can feel it coming. I just need to step aside. I need to go to the room. I need some time to myself because I don't want to get overwhelmed or I don't want this to happen. I am one, if you let me know, I have no problem with stepping in whatever gaps are necessary and giving you the time you need, because to me, it's like a wellness request. It's like if you are giving me the heads up so that you can be well, I much rather be as preventative as possible. I do not want somebody I love trying their best to hold everything in and act normal. And I don't want nobody to think, because then when it gets bad, oftentimes it gets very bad. And then there's the situation is much worse. So that's my answer to that question. What I want is honesty, and that honesty is the request for help. And I'm willing to step in if you ask. Like, I have no problem with that with somebody I love. All right, let me see. And thank you for these questions so much. Thank you so much for these questions. Here's one from Faith. I've been living with mental health issues due to my Asperger's for 22 years. How do you and the girls talk about mental health without overstepping bounds, right? Okay. So when you have kids that are 5, 6, 8 years old, you have to be able to talk to them at a level that they can understand. And truth be told, when a child is 5 or even 4, it's not a whole lot you can explain about mental health. I've been in situations in the past when Leah had to go into a facility for 30 days, I really had to explain it to them like it was a boo-boo that needed help. So they knew. I think the earliest memory I have is telling them essentially mommy had a boo-boo on her head, right? A boo-boo on her brain. And it was something that she needed help with because they understood what a doctor was. They understood what getting help for a pain was. And so even though the extended amount of time, mommy being away for 30 days, seemed to be like, wow, that's a lot, they could at least understand, well, when you're hurt, you should go to a teacher, you should go to a doctor, you should go to a nurse, you should get some help. So I tried to explain it in that way so they could see, yeah, like even if you have a boo-boo in a place that you can't see, it is okay to get help for that. And it's been in pieces. It's been in pieces over time where we would explain in part what it was. Like I mean, if you were to ask them now, like, what is mental illness? They really may not understand, but they understand some of the pieces underneath that have been explained to them in a childlike way. Now, I say this somewhat fluently now, but this is not easy at all. Y'all, it is not easy talking to kids about this stuff. Um, you're not trying to put fear in a child's head. You're not trying to make a child confused. You're just trying to give them just enough so they can take it, understand it for the moment, and move to the next moment. Because kids move through things so well, they just need a little bit of understanding. And as they get older, they get a little bit more, a little bit more. So Faith, thank you for that question. Um, all right. Man, y'all ain't playing with these questions. I'm gonna give y'all a hand. I can't even hear when I click this, but I'm gonna give y'all a hand now. All right. Bot lobbies to chill too. I would love to hear your perspective on being a partner to a mentally ill person. For example, what can I do as the mentally ill person to make my partner's life easier when I am struggling? Now, I'm clicking this like I'm going through responses. This one, I'm going to say connects to the last thing. Not the very last one, but this connects to it is completely okay to let the person you love know. And I know it's easier said than done because in my case, Leah has felt like, I mean, but I keep telling you the same thing. It's like I'm repeating myself. It gets to a point where you feel bad to even express yourself because you've told it to your partner before. You can feel like a broken tape recorder coming back to them, explaining the same thing, talking about the same pain. And even though I am empathetic to that and understand that, as a partner, I want to help. And it's not me just wanting to sit and repeat a cycle. Because for me, I am trying to think of better ways to love and show support throughout a relationship. But hiding just never helps anything. I don't. I'll say this. There's a difference between hiding and there's a difference between having space to work on it for yourself. So I can respect wanting to work through an issue, especially if you know you have the tools. So if there's tools you've gotten from a counselor or from whatever life experiences you have that makes you want to deal with it yourself before you go to your partner or go to a professional before you bring it to your partner, that I think is okay. It's not meant to be where your partner is there just to dump everything on, but you just don't want to hide. That's the thing. Like hiding things you're going through from your partner while it continues to get worse is not a benefit. But if you're working through it, that's a beautiful thing. But you still have to be able to know, hey, when crisis comes, you got to let folks know, or really way before that. That's what I would say. All right, y'all, man. These questions are good. Okay. YouTube, here is a question. This is real. This is a real one. How do I keep my own mental health intact in order to be strong for Leah and the girls? Okay, honest answer. It has been a trial by error journey when it comes to that. There's counseling offices I've sat in. I mean, I've done couples counseling with her. We've done that. But I'll say the simple answer. The simple answer for me is in my own life, my own self-care, and self-care is different for everybody. Exercise and fitness has been a self-care for me. So getting up early, going to a gym where there's other people there that I know, doing things that are really hard, pushing me to do things that I didn't think I could do. I don't know what it is, but being in an environment where you have to suffer a little bit and push through hard things a little bit, I don't know what that does in the mind, but it helps sustain me. It helps me have faith. It helps me believe. It's like, and I'll tell you too, like there's even a game that I play on my phone. There's a game that I've played, I think now for a few years. And it's a simple game, but I keep coming back to it, and I'll play that game before I even do any work for the day. It's like I'm using that as a, I don't know, a metaphor maybe. It's like this little challenge I have to do before I take on the other challenges in my life. So fitness and exercise for me is that. I need to challenge myself over here and push myself over here so I can also do it in my real life. And it makes me feel good and it gives me energy. And because I have the energy and the strength from that, I'm able to run around with the girls, play with the girls, and not get tired. I'm able to feel good about myself in the midst of that. And then on top of that, having a community of people I'm around, that feels good. Being able to talk to my brother, being able to talk to my parents, being able to talk to cousins. It's like having people I can open up to and express things to, even friends at times too, that helps a lot. Like I don't think I could do it if things were bottled up inside of me. So friendships and imitation struggle is what helps me get through. So thank you, YouTube, for that question. And I see the little thing you did with that YouTube. I like that name. All right. Here is another one. Do you feel like your efforts are enough when supporting a partner in crisis, especially when they are spiraling? This is a hardcore question. I'm going to be real with y'all. There were times where I didn't feel like my efforts were enough and I felt completely hopeless and lost. I've been in a parking lot arguing in a car at one point, trying to get her into a facility because I didn't know what was going to happen and I didn't know what else to do. So we're having like literally a debate in the car. Like, no, I think you should go in. I don't want to go in. No, I think like there's times where you feel helpless because still at the end of the day, it has to be the choice of the person. Yeah, like it's funny because at the core of it, just like I said, like the person has to choose it themselves. You can only be there to show love and give love, but I can't be my wife. I can't spiritually go inside of her body, go inside of her brain, even on a chemical scientific level, and rework things that are going on in that space. And I think that I went through a long time where I was trying to be a fixer. And I threw all kinds of encouragement their way. And still the same stuff will keep coming back. And so there's a lot of things I learned over time, though. There's a whole lot that I've learned. So yes, I can say I felt that. I felt that. And so a solution to that, if I could even think of one, is you have to partially let go of that. You have to partially accept the fact that you cannot, as much as you love a person, you cannot control the destination of that person still, even if you are laying right next to them in bed. You cannot have the final word in their lives. You can love them though, but your love does not mean they'll love themselves. And so that self-love for Leah right now, that has been a journey. And we are at a point where she's at least in a phase of loving herself. And loving herself is still a daily battle because the old thoughts can still slip in, but she's actively working to embrace things that go against everything she learned in her childhood, to be honest. Like the setting of her brain and her mind, you put that with the traumas that she's gone through, it is so convincing. Trauma of the past is so convincing. A person can be right in your face, giving you so much love, and in your mind, you're like, I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of this. I don't deserve it. Whatever they're saying, it doesn't matter. It's amazing how that goes. So, yes, I have felt helpless, but it doesn't mean you have to give up when you feel helpless. And faith sometimes faith is all you have. Yeah. So thank you for that question. And I haven't even gotten to the recent questions. Oh my gosh. Boy, how do I restore myself after Leah experiences a crisis? All right. I can tell you honestly about a personality trait of mine. I am a person who I'm already an optimist. That is a personality trait. I'm not a pessimist first. I am an optimist, and I also am a person that, and this can be a good trait or a bad trait, right? For the sake of the priorities of my life, I will drop every other ball that I'm trying to hold up for the benefit of what I feel like is most important, right? So I may be very present as a husband and a father, but then the quality of my work or the quality of my food choices and the way I live the rest of my life might fall, right? So, and sometimes I will just let things drop just so I can stay sane. Like I'm the kind of person, when I was in college, even in high school, if I had to study for a test and I didn't study, and here I am at the last minute, I'm not a person that crams for the test. I'm the person that just accepts it. I'm like, well, I guess I'm a fail. That's me, because I'm like, I'm not going to stress myself out. I'll just go ahead and take the L, the F, and all that and just move on with my life. So because of that trait, it's like, I'm like, I don't care how my house looks. I don't care about stains on the floor as long as my wife is alive. Like I will like other stuff. I can't be concerned about 5 things at the same time. I'll be concerned if at the end, like I'll be like, all right, wife, kids. Okay. I'll be concerned about that first. So that I think is connected to how I would restore myself. But I can answer it like this too. So after a crisis, when things would get back together, I would slowly start placing things back on my plate. That's what it would be. So crisis comes, throw everything else out the window, focus on just that. I'm going to take care of this crisis and the kids. Once that's taken care of, all right. Just like I said, I'll start adding the other things on. That's how I have to restore myself during those times. Now, thank God, the crisis moments are in the past. Oh my gosh. Man, y'all know you used to see it on YouTube. Yeah, it was real and it was scary. So thank you, Bree. I see you all the time, Bree. So thank you for the love. You are a true auntie. And so I'm going to give you and everybody that's been giving these great questions an applause right now. I don't know why I can't even hear the applauses myself now, but it's all good. So let me go. I'm gonna scroll all the way down because I know there's questions I'm missing. Is prayer a part of my mental health maintenance? It sure is for me. Yes. Could I pray more? Yes, but I do think that I don't know, y'all know about manifesting? I'm sure y'all do, right? So prayer and manifestation are going hand in hand. I've spent a lot of time in the past praying. I see kind of, which makes sense. Prayer is the requesting form to me. And so yes, I'm a believer in a creator and a God and all of that, right? So a lot of times I would pray. Sometimes it would be, if things were really bad, it would sound like I was begging, like, please, 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 please. And so I'm at a point in my life where I start claiming stuff now. Like I don't feel like I need to be in a spot to only beg. There's nothing wrong. I mean, if you feel desperate, it's nothing wrong with it, man. Scream, do whatever you got to do. But I'm at a point where I'm demanding, not of God, right? But I'm like, I am claiming, proclaiming, pulling things into my life now. I'm not accepting things that I used to, right? And I feel like I've had to grow as a man because of this experience. Like, I cannot sit on the side and just be like, I hope, and it's like, nah, I have to pull this stuff into my life and demand it for my family. So that's where I'm at now. I can't, the begging stuff, like, how am I gonna be operating in a faithful mindset? Man, y'all know about the law of attraction, all of that. I'm into that stuff too. But just, if I want this stuff to show up in my life, does it make sense to ask for a gift and then the next day ask for the gift and then the next day ask for the gift? I'm like, the gift is here. I am accepting it. I'm going to open it. Let's shoot, man. Y'all about to shoot. This is the claiming season. This is the receiving season. Like, I'm not about the asking has been done. I have to believe it now. So that is the realm that I'm at now. Yeah. Shifting the perspective. You are right. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. So that is a part of it. All right. Let me go back and make sure that I am. All right. Billy, has years of unanswered prayers affected your faith? I think it has shown me, kind of like what I was saying, that I had to give my faith the opportunity to grow and to really to grow roots and to stand firm and to become stronger, because I always had hope, but I don't think that was enough. And also too, sometimes, and I'm a person that believes in prayer and action and a bunch of things at the same time, right? But sometimes you pray and you don't really even know. You don't even know what to say. You just be like, for a long time, especially in the beginning, my prayer was, I want depression, mental illness, I want it to go away. Take this away from her. Like that was my prayer. I want it to be gone. And who doesn't want struggle to be gone? Who doesn't at some point in there? Well, I'm sure all of us will be at that same spot of, I want no struggle in my life. I want everything to be easy and to come quickly to me. That's exactly what I want. But that's just not real. So you can pray that and you may not get that. A life without struggle may not come to you. So for me, it made me have to change my perspective overall. But yeah, I mean, it definitely affected my faith at times. Because I'd be there like, man, I done already prayed. I'm like, what in the world else do I have to ask for? Yeah, I felt that many times. I'm like, she's struggling. She's going through this. Like, how could this be allowed to happen? With everything she's been through, how could this still be allowed? So yes, it definitely affected my faith, but my faith is stronger now than it was in the past. And that's not even trying to sound cute, because people say stuff like that and I don't even know if I can believe them. It's like faith grows in the fire. It's like faith. And I'll say this, like faith will grow and fall and grow and fall. So my faith has never just always been up here. Like it has been very thin, then thicker, then thin, then thicker, then thin. But it's still like it is in a growing phase. So thank you for that question. And then here's my cousin. Thank you. Thank you. I'll just call her Moena since she don't want to use her first name. Thank you. You are an angel too. So much love to you. Thank you. And that's what I'm saying. Like I love like that. She's a great example of a cousin that I'm able to talk to be honest, right? So she's like, that's a part of the self-care. We've been spending a lot of time with her and her family. And yes, so that is self-care within itself. All right, let me back up. Here's the question. Yeah. People would ask this. We never got around to this question. Have you ever thought your girl would have the same mental trait? Now, my thing personally is, again, I'm still an optimist. Do I kind of like, I mean, is there a way to prepare for that? I don't know. Like I don't like being afraid. I don't really like I feel like I never really had the time. Okay. Better response. A part of my energy and effort going into helping my wife was I knew I would do the same for my girls. And I could not imagine a point where if any of my girls were to ever, God forbid, have that as their struggle, um, it would be very hard for me to say I gave up on your mom, but no, y'all, hey, I hope you pulled through. It's just how can I like it's just it made me want to be a steadfast partner. It made me want to be dedicated and thorough and present. Cause what if, right? And I didn't want that to come back and slap me in the face. Like how would that feel? To give up as a partner, but then still have to work through that with a daughter and then explain to her like, oh no, it's just I was tired over here, but I'm not tired of you. No, like that's yeah. So of course the thought will always cross your mind, but that's another reason why Leah's improvement gives hope for our girls or anybody. Because if anything were to happen, if you've already walked through the fire yourself, if you've already learned the lessons, you can pass those lessons on to anyone else. And so this has been a learning and a growing experience for me. And if there's anybody that we love that was dealing with the same thing, we would want that to be able to help them too. That's what I would say. All right, so thank you for that question. Man, these questions, boy, y'all, shoot, these questions are real. Whoo, boy. All right. My daughter is in crisis now. I'm drawing strength now, wondering what and how to help her now. Okay. So here's the truth, right? Crisis is much different than the whole journey of mental health, right? Mental health can have its ups and downs, but you're still able to make it from day to day. When I hear crisis in my mind, crisis, oh man, like unfortunately and fortunately, crisis in my case has been we have to go to the hospital. Like that's been the journey. It has had to be going to the hospital and going into the 3 days of treatment. That's been a pattern that I've done a few times. It's never the first choice. it never feels great. But if you know that somebody is on that line and you're like, man, I don't even know if they're going to make it to tomorrow, like that, you can't play with it. But you also, if you're around a person enough, you can know that even if they're saying certain things, and this, I mean, this is such a tricky and very fine line. If somebody is in a very rough spot, but you've been around them, you can kind of tell how serious it is. And that's not even to say like take risk and see how far you can let them go before you get them emergency help. It's like crisis is crisis. And every crisis I've known, it has involved we have to go. And I've seen times where we've been able to talk about it and together go get help. And there was a time way in the past where, yeah, people had to be called to come. And this was like before I was a father. This was way back. Like there was only one time that it got so bad that it was like, yeah, like we got to get you help immediately. And then you have, it's hard to watch somebody you love be in a spot like that to where they have to be taken to a place to be safe. But safety is the priority when it's crisis. And I know the whole line of how it goes. And yeah, talking to them on the phone in the facility, like all the facility is, and based upon where you live, it's going to be called different things. Like if you're in Florida, getting Baker acted is what it's called here. And it usually is a 3-day stay. And they just basically keep you alive. Like you will be medicated and kept alive, but it's not a place. It's not going to change the direction of your life. A person in crisis is not going to go into a facility and come out healed. It is just a temporary stay to make sure they don't harm themselves in a horrible way. And so, yeah, that's been a reality in my life too. When stuff has gotten to that point, you just have to save the person that you love, even if they don't have the capability to save themselves in that moment. So thank you for that question. I hope that helps. And if your daughter really is in crisis, please get your daughter help. Like that's what I'll say. You don't even have to be on this stream now. If they're really in crisis, get help immediately, please. Because then that time will give you time to figure things out and what your next step should be and how you could get them help after. Oh man. Yeah, Leah is a beautiful soul. Yeah. I'm glad to be able to share the things that we've learned on this journey, and I'm glad that you all have been here for it. Like that is an incredible thing. I'll always say that you all have shown, listen, you aunties, uncles, cousins have shown that YouTube is not the hellfire that people thought it was, right? It really is a beautiful place. And so progress, yes. Let me see what YouTube says again. I'm making sure I catch everything. Exercising helps as well as the game. My doctor had me download an app with games and distractions to help when I'm overwhelmed. Exercising helps calm the body and clear the mind. Amen to that. Yes, it does. And listen, I can be 41 years old playing games on my phone. I don't care. If it helps me, that's fine. Running around and playing like that, you need some type of joy and beautiful things in life. And today, yeah, Leah was at this trampoline park, jumping off of stuff and bouncing around and rolling in balls with the girls. Like they had a great time, and that helped her feel great. So I'm into all of that. All right, Kelly, what tools has Leah found to help the most? A long time meditation, working out, medications, Eastern or Western medicines. Okay. If Leah was on this microphone right now, she would probably say that it was pieces of everything. There is really I would say there's no most. What you have listed, I think, is a great part of it as well. I would say the entire journey, being able to look back and keep a record of the lessons that she has learned is a big part. Medications for her, that's we tried that for so long, it doesn't work for her. So yeah, we are on that Eastern or Western medicines type thing. And that's what's most helpful for her now. But even with that, there's still the work. Meditating does help. Working out does help. Um, but it really is a daily practice. And the thing that I still feel like I can compare it to is exercise. There never is an end point or enough times you could go in the gym or enough times you could do a certain movement to finish it, complete it, or finally be strong. It's even if the question was, what do you think helped you out the most with health and wellness? It still is everything. It's getting the sleep, it's exercising, it's eating right, it's paying it, like it's all of those pieces acting together, but it's still a daily choice. Um, I don't really get the benefits from the exercises I did 5 years ago. Uh, and so weekly, monthly, like there's still practices that are in place, but you got a great handle on it because you got a lot of those things listed, but all of those things working together have helped her. So that's what I would say. Let me go down here and make sure I'm not missing anything. All right. Great question right here. How do you get your spouse to seek help for their mental illness? Okay. This is a hard one because you cannot force a person. You can tell them how much you love them. You can share insights. I would say that the simplest one, I think, is to go with them. That's probably the beginning of it. If they're apprehensive about it, they don't really want to seek help, going with them is probably the simplest first start I can imagine. And then if they reject it, there truly is nothing like it. I would never want to force them. I don't even want to nag a person about it. It just has to be like you have to want to get help for yourself. And but I'll do whatever I can to make it easy. So if it's a partner of mine, if it was Leah, if she was in a spot where she didn't want to get help, um, I would try to make it extremely convenient. If it really was just now and we have kids and all of this stuff, I'll be like, I'll watch the kids, I'll do this, or I'll make sure the kids are with the grandparents, whatever I would have to do to make it very simple and easy. That's probably what I would do. All right, let me see. Let me go back. Something positive. Yes, Cousin Leah is strong. And so Khadijah saying Cousin Leah is so strong, and I was like her. I've been in three mental hospitals in my entire life, and you're right, they are scary, not somewhere you want to be, and it feels like you're alone. That's the hard part, right? It's not a fun, beautiful. It's a rough place, and so for me, I only see it in a moment of crisis. But Khadijah, I'm so glad you were here with everything that you've been through. Like I'm so glad that you made it to this stage. I'm so glad you're here and continuing to press on and all of that. That anybody that's dealt with any mental illness like that, you all are some incredibly strong people. Like um I have so much respect and so much love for all of y'all. I mean, I know what it's like to be right next to somebody, but man, that's incredible. All right. Somebody was saying they play word games on their phone. Yep. Um, Let me see. And don't mind me as I go through checking out some questions. All right. As someone who struggles with mental health, your patience, compassion, and genuine love for Leah gives me a lot of hope. And one day having a supportive husband like you, listen, yeah, all of y'all can have that. All of y'all can have that. Faith goes all different ways. And it's just Love is a very interesting journey because I feel like I was so ignorant in the beginning, and I'm blessed to have had Leah as a friend who became a girlfriend, who eventually, it's just, it took me, like, I already cared for her before I knew what she was going through, and her struggles have taught me because I didn't have empathy at a level like this. I did not understand anything about mental illness. Like, I had so many wrong assumptions, and yeah, I give her a lot of credit because I've learned a lot from her. And so I know there's other, listen, I there's a lot of people out there with a lot of love, but still a lot of things to learn. All right, let me see. How did you not take her depression personally or feel like she was doing this to manipulate you? Um, to be honest, in the beginning, I saw it as something separate from me. And I also saw it as something separate from her because I was able to see the two sides. I was able to see her for who she was as a friend first. And she, like, she was quiet, but she was fun to be around and she had a good heart. Like, she is genuinely, and it's just like y'all see her on here talking, like who you see her as is not too different from who she's always been. She has an incredibly big heart, but she is or has been so hard on herself. So somebody who would just be hard on themselves, I didn't see that as a manipulation to me. I just truly in the beginning, I just felt sorry for her, like in the most genuine, compassionate way. I just felt like, man, that is not fair. The things that she went through in her life, I can't imagine what that's like. And so the only downside of it is in the beginning, it made me suppress myself and walk on eggshells. Because when you hear a person tell you stories that they've been through and you haven't been through anything like that in your life, sometimes as a protective tool, you will move around and be like, well, I don't want to do anything to hurt them. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to make the depression worse. I only want them to be happy. I want to be the one happy element in their life. I was stuck in that for a little bit. And that in itself was wrong. But I had to learn that. Like, I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm walking on eggshells, or really, I don't want to be in anything where I'm operating off of fear. So that was what it did to me in the beginning. It made me afraid to hurt her. And but then you'll end up treating a person like a child because you don't want to say anything that could be a trigger. It took me some time to be able to learn to be honest and open, even in the midst of everything she had went through. And that journey, shoot, I'm still learning things about that even within the past few years, because I can still get caught up in, well, I don't know if I should say that, because if I say that, then that's going to hurt her. Yeah. Just because a person has been through horrible things doesn't mean that you want to treat them like a victim at all times. It's just, it can't be that. Going to the extreme opposite is not good either. Let me scroll down. All right. What makes it seem so easy to be so transparent and help others even though you've been through it? Okay, truthfully, as open-minded as I am now, my parents and the way I was raised, I think that Christianity has been the foundation of it, right? Like, being taught, and to be clear, yeah, my mind is extremely open now, but just having that base of faith and love, like, I think that believing that whatever God existed was a God of love, that thing has stayed with me for so long that I still feel like the intent of everything still has to be love. So when it comes to being honest, it's just, my intent behind it is love. Like, I genuinely want to see other people thrive. And I think that a huge chunk of it is because seeing what Leah has been through, it's kind of made my love for her start to translate into what I want to see for others. And the best example I could give, think about parents who, their child will go through a thing, right? And then they will end up being champions of that thing. So the cancer walks you see, or whatever things you see, like where a parent is going to fight, like it could be, I want to make sure no more kids get kidnapped, or I want to make sure that nobody goes through what my loved one went through. Um, a loved one will make you do things you did not think you could do. So because of what Leah has went through, it has given me so much empathy for anybody that deals with a mental illness. Um, and it's helped my empathy overall. Like, it's my own mistakes, my own faults. It's put me in a spot where it is incredibly hard for me to judge anybody else. As messy as things could be in my house, in my mind, in my life, who in the what, like, how in the world can I step out and feel like the way to express myself to other people is to hide, when daily, right? Like, when mental illness is in your home, you're having to think and work through issues daily. You're having to find tools and paths to, like, pull yourself out of darkness, and that will positively affect you, because you'll start wanting to do that for yourself, wanting to do that for your kids, wanting to do that for your friends. And so it just starts to spread. Like, love, the love in this house has made me want to be transparent. Yeah. Love is a powerful force. Yes. Yeah. I'm putting that up on the screen. That's because love is a powerful force in every realm. You are so right. To me, that is my motivation right now, and it will be my motivation forever. As long as I'm on this earth, I feel like, yeah, love is the foundation, and love is such a misinterpreted, misunderstood word now that goes so far past romantic anything. Love is, I mean, that's who the creator of everything is, in my opinion, right? Love is the connector of everything. Love is the reason that we exist. And then I get into a whole deep thing about that, but yes, love in every realm. I am with that. That's what, yeah, unconditional love. Unconditional love. One thing I will say is that every religious person I hear speak, I'm not going to say every, because that's too broad of a paintbrush, but unconditional love is the hardest aspect to live out of any religion you hear about, any religion you see. No matter what they preach, no matter what they say, no matter what their laws are, or whatever they feel like you should be living your life like this or like that, the hardest thing and the thing that people struggle with the most is how to love unconditionally. We're excellent at loving conditionally, though. We have conditions around everything, on who deserves love and who doesn't. As long as we can label a person our enemy, oh, it's so easy to throw hate. Then, well, they don't deserve love. Only the lovely ones, only the not. Yeah, I could go on about that too. Everybody needs love. Love is beyond emotion and comprehension. You are right. All love knows is love, and love is hard. Yeah, love is not puffed up, it bears all things. That's what, but it's hard. That bearing all things, that is not easy. Love is not easy. Do you understand how much different this world would be if the Bible only had the scripture of love in it and that's it? If that was the only thing that okay, let me stop, because I'm gonna go on and on about that. But yes, if we could spend a lifetime just trying to practice love, then we could learn the laws, then we could learn what's right and wrong, then we could learn what evil, all that stuff could come so far after, if we could just understand love. um that's the hardest thing. But anyway, my wife has taught me so much about love. Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty. Let me make sure that I'm not missing any questions. When it comes to mental illness, yes, it is better to be transparent with your partner, address the process in that moment, and emphasize, not internalize what has been said in the moment of crisis. Yes, I can give that an applause. Yeah, that is so true. Yeah. Listen, even the atheists know. Listen, atheists who I still have patience and love, sharing, yep, but ain't love hard. Patience and love is hard, right? Even for an atheist, right? You know that's hard, and you have it. Much respect to that. That stuff is still hard. People will give you every reason to not love them. There are so many. We could listen. I'll sit here and make a whole list of reasons why love is a unfair thing to give because it has nothing to do with fairness. Yeah. Alrighty. Let me see. I'm gonna put this up because you're saying somebody had a great question. What do the girls do when mom isn't doing well? What do you tell them? All right. This is a great one because I used to hide it. To be honest, I used to do stuff where if mommy wasn't feeling well, if mommy was in the room, I would be like, don't knock on the door, leave mommy alone. Like I was in the thing of trying to hide it. And I think that that's where many people could start, right? When you don't know what your kids can handle or understand, you'll try to hide it, but they'll start figuring things out on their own anyway. And so in my case, at first, it was just, oh, mommy needs rest. Mommy needs rest. Mommy needs rest. As a child gets older, it'd be like, man, like, how tired are they? How many times? Like, when, what? And so it ended up having to be a discussion on this is why, right? And so Leah has been able to have a discussion on, okay, this is what mommy goes through. And because of that, there's times that mommy does need rest or mommy does need time to work through certain things. And she would be, if she was on this live, she would have a better way to explain it because she knows more the nuance of what she said, but it was still explained in a way that they could understand. And two, even those times when mommy would be in the room or need time alone, what I started doing is not stopping them from at least being able to go and say goodnight, right? So if it's a rough day, they still could go in the room and get the hugs and kisses and all that, even if mommy was having a good time, because there's no, like, I don't, everything doesn't have to be hidden. Like there's still this balance of what can be shared and what can be respected in a way that kids can understand. And I think that's a lesson I had to learn over time. Yeah, but that's a great question, right? Yeah, yeah, right. The napping all day thing. Because listen, if you don't explain, kids are just going to assume, hey, if mommy's in the room, man, mommy is the tiredest person we ever knew, right? And it's not that. So at some point, you do have to be able to explain it. All right. Do I practice? Yeah. What I would say to this, health and fitness is still right, and I'm gonna put this up too because there's a few more asking about what I do, like what do you do to recharge yourself so that you can continue to be on your family strength. I will still say health and fitness for me is the battery recharger and it is a life lesson teacher when you have to go into a gym and do things around and with other people that you did not think you can do when you're lifting one weight at this time and then it's like steadily increasing, like pushing myself, exerting myself in that way teaches me about my own mind and about how to approach everything in life. I could do a whole series on how exercise directly relates to every single thing we do in our lives. I promise you, you can be a philosopher just off of exercise because it's still your mind. It's still, when you are pushing yourself, it still is your mind. Strength, yes, that's a big component to how much you can physically lift, but you are in there forcing and testing your mind to do things it doesn't want to do for the benefit of who you are. Right. And so when I push past what my mind is telling me, because my mind will tell me to quit. And I mean, some of those things, not saying that I can relate to what Leah goes through, but being in the gym and the pieces that happen, like, yeah, it will get you into that point, like, oh, like, you're fighting your own mind. And when you can conquer that, the benefits it has is incredible. And those benefits, yeah, I come out with lessons, I come out with energy, I come out with things I can apply to my girls. I will have them running around doing exercises with me. Leah is able to feel free when she exercises too. Like, that is a benefit. I can go into the games I play, right? Some form of a challenge, even when it's lighthearted, it helps my mind. It does help me. It doesn't have to be like it's a separate challenge away from my life, but there's enough from it to where I can be able to relax and relate it to my real life. Also, walks in the park. I love to be out in nature. I love to walk around. I'll play music in my headphones, like that atmospheric, like new agey kind of stuff, fluty, like feeling like I'm floating in the sky. Like, I will go deep into a woodsy area and just I love that stuff. I love being out and walking for a long time. So yeah, sweat will be involved in some way, but I like being outside now. So yes, those are things that I do for my own mental health. Nature is great medicine. Yes. Yes. Let me see. YouTube. I didn't wait. You have all of this? Wow, listen, y'all are some strong people. YouTube, that lupus fibromyalgia. I mean, hey, I don't even know. I feel I gotta clap the hands. I don't know. I gotta clap the hands for it. That is incredible. What you all are able to push through inspires me. You all are some incredible people. I don't even know what to say. That's why, I mean, it's amazing what the mind can accomplish when you push past the struggles in your life anyway. That's incredible. Let me make sure that I'm not missing anything. Let me see. Yes. Fitness and exercise is a major test of strength, perseverance, and a great energy booster. Yes, I am with that. Yeah, we all be fighting our own minds every day. The mind is a sellout, to be real. Like, it's a beautiful thing though. Like, I love it, but it is a tester. It really is a tester. And you have to strengthen it too. There's things like running. If I were to do a whole thing on running, man, I used to hate to run when I used to go into the gym. All right, so I do CrossFit. Let me just stop saying gym, right? CrossFit is what I do. People can do whatever they want to. There's so many different styles. I'm not a CrossFit apologist. Like, it's one thing, right? There's things good about it, things weird about it. But in CrossFit, when I was having to run, I hated running as a kid and I hated running as an adult. And because of that, I would purposely not try. I would purposely run as slow as I could. I would be in the back of line. It didn't matter if a woman was running in front of me and she was only 2 feet tall. For some reason, her little tiny stride was still going faster than me. And I would psych myself out. Soon as the timer would go off, I would run slow. And then at some point, I just had to start making myself run at home. Like, just whatever free time I had to start running and get used to running longer distances and pushing myself. And now it'll be like, well, we know LaGuardia likes to run. Okay, slow down. And the thing is, the people that are saying that are people that didn't even know me 2 years ago when I was running like I had no legs. And so that is just one example of how you can trick yourself, psych yourself out, in one area of your life to where you won't even let yourself try. And there's so many things that we can do if we just conquer it up in our minds. Our minds are they fight against us so much, and they are lying. It will lie to us, and we have to fight against it. Everything is a mental battle. There's still other things I'm doing that I'm a punk about that I'll never show y'all on camera that I still have to work through. Because it don't mean I don't be just going in the gym doing well at everything. I definitely don't do that. I still got to work through things in my mind, but it helps me in my real life. All right. Is there a point during Leah's mental health journey that I thought about giving up? Yes. 100%. 100%. Like, for some of y'all that have seen some of the posts on it, yeah, we thought about ending the marriage and everything. There's plenty of points where I felt like, well, I don't have any more left to give. I don't know what else to do. Those times still did come where we both felt hopeless. And that's a part of the journey. Like, I would be lying if I said that I felt strong every day. So, yeah, the simple answer is yes. I have not given up, though. I've wanted to in the past, but I didn't. And that, I mean, thank God. Yeah. Somebody is new. Leah is my wife. Yeah, just to let you know, Leah is my wife. And so she's the one that's been dealing with mental illness and I've known, listen, I met Leah in high school. We're in our early 40s, so it's been a long time. Just put it all together. It's been over 20 years. Over half of my life, I have known this woman. Yes. And what a journey it has been. And it's taught me so much that I can't even, the only way I could see it playing out another way is like, if she didn't have to go through that stuff, that would be beautiful. Like, I wouldn't wish that on her, but the things it has taught us, I do appreciate that. I do appreciate all of those things. You all are asking incredible questions. Leah and I both will surround ourselves with family, friends, and the tools and the lessons we learn, support systems, all of that. We surround ourselves with all of that. Leah has a whole giant case of tools that she has gained over the years that come into play. So that's a quick way to answer that. All right, I think I'm gonna take 2 more questions, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up everything else. You're a combat veteran, so you've been through a lot. I'm seeing YouTube. Hey, thank you for everything you've done. A combat veteran. Hey, thank you. Thank you. I guess I got to do the applause again, right? Yes. Yes. Once again, I can't even imagine, right? I cannot even imagine. So it makes sense. I could only imagine what you've been through. That's a lot, but I completely respect you. I respect you, and I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you've made it through some incredibly hard things. Like, wow. Wow. All right, let me scroll down and get to how do I keep my marriage? Let me see. Keeping my marriage is still a piece of, I guess, all the things I've said throughout the talk tonight. It is having unconditional love, to be honest, right? If I didn't understand what that was, I would not be here. If I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't be here. So unconditional love, incredible amounts of faith, self-care, and still, even with what I said about claiming things and having hope, like, hope is still an essential part of it. If I had no belief in the future, I would not be here. I am still here because I believe in what's ahead. And I've seen things improve. Things now are better than they've been in the past. It doesn't mean that the struggle is not here, but keeping the marriage, you got to believe in something. Like, you got to believe that something is improving. If I felt like things were flatlined and nothing was moving, I would not be here. That would not be a benefit. This relationship wouldn't be a benefit to the girls, to us. Like, why? But the fact that we're moving like this, even if there's been dips in the past and all of this stuff, like, that is a part of why the marriage is here. Yeah. And then we could get into a whole talk on love and marriage and all of that stuff. But that's why. Yes. So thank you for that question. Let me see. All right. Let me look at this. All right. So I have a child with mental health challenges and a husband with PTSD. Hey, wow. I have health issues myself. Do you feel guilty when you're unable to help when episodes happen? Okay. I have, I'm not going to say guilty. I felt helpless though. Yeah. I felt helpless, and I don't know, like the guilt, I felt like I was trying everything. There really were times where I legitimately did not know what else to do. And when I wouldn't know what else to do, I would start repeating things, even if those things didn't work in the past. I would just get caught up in, well, let me just, I'll try this other thing again. Um, and then, I would feel desperate. Helpless and desperate is what I felt like in the past. And like I said, in moments of crisis, I've had to just sit and just watch the same thing happen again and not really be sure of what to do next. Even with hope there, even having hope, I would still be in spots where I legitimately did not know what to do. And man, it's hard to answer that because it's like faith. I would have faith, but I didn't always have faith. Sometimes all I would have is fear. Helpless, desperate, and afraid. Yeah. I have felt that. I have 100% felt that. So that's why when I read what you're saying, the fact that you have a child and a husband and you have your own health issues, you are super, super strong. Because there's no way you would be here and not be strong. And so I just like all the love and blessings and everything to you, because that's hard. Like when episodes happen, yeah, that's hard. But what I will say is this. Many of us can wish we could step into the bodies of the people we love, but I know that we can't. And so the thing that takes away my guilt is I'm not supposed to fix any of these issues for anybody else. As much as I love Leah, I cannot fix this stuff for her. I can give her love. Same thing would go with my kids. Like I can give them everything too, but they still, even now, are individuals themselves, and there's lessons and things that they have to learn and move through. And with somebody you love, it's still their own journey. It doesn't make it feel better for us, but it's still their own journey that they have to walk through. And we can't take it away from them. Like that, what can we do about that? Even with understanding the depths of what they've been through and all the trauma, with all the understanding in the world, we can still not do it for them. And we cannot feel guilty about that, because what is the other option? Nobody can step in and do our life for us either. And so you are an incredibly loving person to be there. And so is anybody alongside somebody dealing with anything. All you could do is give love, but that guilt does not help in situations like that. Guilt can only help like if you know you've done wrong and you can do better. Yeah, guilt can help you to get right and get better and do stuff the way you should have done in the beginning. But guilt in situations like that, it'll get in the way of you being able to help a person, because you'll feel so bad. Yeah, that's a hard thing to deal with. But yes, I appreciate that question. I am so sorry. I am so sorry to hear that, Sharon. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Much love, many blessings to you and your family. Like that's incredibly sad. So yeah, that's all I could say, man. Much love to you, condolences, everything. And thank you for being in this live. With all of that happening today, thank you for making the time, for having time at all to spend with us. That means a whole lot. That means a whole lot. We have a lot of love for you. All right, let me make sure I'm not missing anything else. All right. So thank you everybody for coming through. I hope that I was able to answer many of the questions that we've missed in the past. I know Leah's getting plenty of rest. I'm about to go get some rest. Y'all don't even understand how early I go to bed, but it's all good. It was worth it. Do the girls, I will take this one. Do they worry about Leah? What I can say is Amala has had a time where I think worry may have been there some. Yeah. Yeah. And now this is a very honest, like, this is going to be an honest answer. We haven't done a video on this, but there was a time where when we were really going through it, we were separated for about 2 or 3 months. And so when that time happened, the effect that had, it did make Amala for a time feel like, well, let me try to do stuff to make sure mommy feels good and feels happy because I don't want her to leave. And that's something that we had to address. And that was hard. That was really hard because it was like our own struggles had started to bleed into our real life with the girls. Really, like our personal adult struggles had bled into that life. So yeah, we had to have talks with her and work her through that so she didn't have to hold that. Like she didn't have to hold the responsibility of, I got to keep mommy happy, or even live in fear that mommy would leave or go somewhere else if she wasn't happy. Like that was rough. That was some years back. And so, yeah, we definitely had to talk through that. But at this point, like worry is not it. Like I would say they are, I think especially in Amala's case, it's like they are in a childlike way, they are aware, right? We don't have to appear to be perfect. We don't have to hide. So they're aware of things in a way that they can understand. And because of that, they don't have to be confused and they don't have to be afraid. So that, Bree, is a great question. Yes, and I definitely will be giving Leah your love. Yes. I'm looking at, yes, I will definitely do that. And so thank you. I'm so glad. I'm thinking Tuesdays may end up being my day. And if it is, like, I'll make sure that I do stuff that is as beneficial as I can, because if I don't, you all won't watch, right? If the girls ain't here and Leah ain't here, I gotta go extra. I gotta go all the way in and make sure I do something very special, aunties, uncles, and cousins. So thank you all for being here. If there's anything you found helpful in this video, please share it with somebody else that may be going through the same thing and have the same questions. And all of you all have an incredible night. And I will see you tomorrow, probably with Amala doing something goofy. We got some ideas. It's going to be a completely different thing. But yes, Tuesdays are probably for the deep discussions. See y'all tomorrow.